In December of last year, INGAA realized that the whole issue of pipeline safety had taken a whole different view. And that attention and view was really brought about as a result of the incident in San Bruno, California, the incidents in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and Philadelphia. We had been working very closely with the Department of Transportation and PHMSA on crafting what we thought was the next generation of pipeline safety in the Pipeline Safety Reauthorization Act. And these incidents came up, and it really brought home the point that we need to respond as an industry. So at that point, the board of directors at INGAA decided to put together a task force to address these pipeline safety issues on a more holistic approach. As a result of that, a number of board members and their organizations came together to put together a disciplined process to address this issue. And that's really, we're in the beginning stages of addressing what we think are the critical issues. When the task force first got together, the group tried to decide what should be our aspiration, what should be our goal. And it didn't take long for the group to agree that our goal should be zero incidents, and that a zero incident environment is achievable. The fact is, we believe we can get there. One of the ways we believe as an industry we can get together and achieve our aspiration, our goal of zero incidents, is to really identify and develop a safety culture in each one of our organizations, but also have that concept of a safety culture ingrained across the entire industry. So it's not what we say, it's not what we write, it's not what we talk about, it's how we live. What are the behaviors in our organizations that support the fact that we're committed to operating a safe network? When the team got together and we started looking at our guiding principles, one of the things we talked about was the need for us to really pursue and be relentless in our pursuit of improvement in pipeline safety. And if you look at the individual member companies, many of the companies, most of the companies, have very, very good processes. But the fact is there wasn't consistency from company to company. There wasn't the ability for us to use best practices. We really hadn't shared a lot of information in the past. I think the whole concept of being committed to continuous improvement supports the idea that although we think we may be good and compliant in doing the things that we're supposed to be doing, there's always room for improvement. So I think that was a pretty important commitment for the industry to make. When the Pipeline Safety Reauthorization Act was passed in 2002, it was extremely prescriptive. It told the industry what it needed to do and how it needed to do it in specific areas. And I think the industry has done a marvelous job in meeting those prescriptive regulations. What we believe, however, is that we need to take the lessons learned from the past 8 years and apply them across the system, irrespective of the population count or the consequence area designation used by DOT. So as an industry, we're saying we're going to learn from what we do and how we do it. We're going to learn from each other, and we're going to apply those principles across the entire network. None of this is any good unless the various constituencies and stakeholders we have are involved in what we're doing. And this is an industry, no pun intended, that's pretty underground. Our assets are underground. We don't have a lot of people up and down the pipeline rights of way. And heretofore, we have really interacted with our regulators, our communities, our employees on almost an as-needed basis. We realize that if we're going to achieve a goal of zero incidents, we have to be more proactive with DOT, with PHMSA, with the FERC, with our state public service commissions, with the communities in which we have assets located and employees working. So really, at the end of the day, pipeline safety is everybody's responsibility. Everybody has an interest in making sure that the most efficient and safest way to move energy in this country remains that way. There are so many people in the organization that may sit back and say, well, that's not a part of my job. That's really a field employee's job. What impact do I have on safety and pipeline integrity? And I think if you spend a little bit more time, I think you're going to understand why we believe everybody is important in this equation. The reality is that this is nothing more than us doing the right thing. And so often in our organizations, people start wondering, well, do I have the budget to do this? Is this a priority of the company? And I think from an executive level perspective, our job is to let our organizations know, look, this is the right thing. It's not the talk, it's how we walk it, and that's everybody. And that goes from the accountants, that goes from our public affairs folks, that goes from the folks in HR. We want to make sure that everybody across our organization is engaged in doing the right thing. One of the things that we've seen as we've embarked on this journey to really improve pipeline safety is increased employee engagement. Employees like to work in an organization, in an industry where they realize we're doing the right thing. At the end of the day, we don't move molecules from point A to point B or store gas underground. We heat people's homes. We generate their electricity. We keep them warm in the winter and we keep them cool in the summer. And increasingly, as we see natural gas's role expand and really fulfill its role as a foundational fuel, I think people are going to appreciate the fact that we can do all these things, but if we don't do them safely, we're not going to have the ability to achieve what I think is our potential.